Hello, hello, hello. Lots of questions going to be with this one. If the quality's there, if you guys can see, if I'm buffering, whether or not you can hear my fan, my cooling system I have for this thing, so it doesn't overheat on me. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me okay? Do you guys hear a annoying whir and whiz? How's the quality of the picture? Is it all right? Sweet. You guys don't hear a super annoying buzzing? Cool. Awesome. I was worried. I'm 5GE here, so and only like 2.5 bars, so hopefully it stays good. I got a cooling system for my phone, and I was recording the other day with it, and it was really, really loud. So I was worried about it, but cool. So we're early. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to stream of this because, you know, guns are bad in K. So far nobody has a rifle, and that's usually what'll kick it. So far so good. So far I can stream. Thank you, Nicole, and everybody else who shares. So for those of you who did not hear earlier what this is supposed to be, this is a civil disobedience rally, Second Amendment rally. In the state of Washington, it is now illegal to open carry at a political event. Prior to that law being passed, the mayor of this town threatened to arrest anybody that open carried at a political event. Tried making it illegal here. So we shall see how this goes. And I did not bring my tripod today, or for this one, because I figured I'd be a little bit more mobile. Probably not the smartest idea, because it looks like it's going to be some speeches. I think I'm going to go stand in the shade and get a better view. And stand in the shade because it's hot. It's 84, 85 degrees right now. It's gross. Why does Washington have stupid names for cities and towns? Well, the reason is because most of the names here, not most, probably about half of the names here, the ones that you consider stupid, are named after Indian tribes that were here. A lot of our cities, Puyallup and or Washougal, those are all Indian words and names. Don't you feel bad? Tequila should be renamed Tequila. Yeah. Well, I was gonna go across the street, but I don't know. Setting up some barbecues. See, don't you guys wish you were here? Now I'm going across.
Stay busy. It's a toxic male. I love it. Toxic male. You're all toxic.
Ah, shade.
I just have to live over there now.
Doing a little pre-rally flag wave. As long as I don't start seeing a bunch of rifles show up, we should be able to stream the whole event.
Oh, okay.
Mike. Oh, Mike, he sits next to Kevin, doesn't he?
No, not that Mike.
Mike. Yeah, I don't know who it is.
And this building I'm pointing at is Limitless. Limitless America. It's a great place if you're wanting to build ARs and stuff. Come on down here.
Richfield in the house. Hi, Dan. Good. Thanks for coming. I need a bicycle.
Why?
So I broke the bolt off my flat thing.
On your car?
Yeah. What's the closest store over here?
It'd be that way.
Huh?
It'd be that way. There's really nothing else that way. There's a little strip mall right here, Safeway. I think there's an Ace in there.
Oh.
But it's I would drive though.
I drive down there? Yeah, I'm gonna send it.
Lots of people waving. Lots of love. Little pre-rally flag wave going on. Lots of people showing up. Not very much parking. I like the murals. We got people that came down here from Olympia, I've seen so far, some up from Portland. Rally's supposed to get going in about 15 minutes. This entire thing right here is an act of civil disobedience for everybody that's open carrying. It is illegal to open carry in the state of Washington at a political event, protest, and or rally. I might run back to my vehicle here in a little bit and grab my tripod. Ooh, squirrel. Here comes squirrel. Look at it. Bask in its glory. It's awesome. Surefire way to get me distracted. How you doing, fella?
Nice shirt.
You like that?
Yeah, I like this business. I've patroned them for the last like 7 months now. So, got a couple of good things built out of here, so gotta support them.
It's a nice business. It's local. You know, shop local, shop small. Who knows when it'll become illegal?
Yeah, I know. It's only a matter of time.
Squirrel from a different angle. Oh, look at it go.
Nice. Hell yeah.
It's going to be, you guys might get motion sickness if he keeps coming back around here like that.
Robert, do you have a pair of ice grips?
I do not.
I know it's a strange question. You don't just carry those around in your pocket?
Not usually. Only on Tuesdays.
Okay.
Yeah, Tuesdays I'll have a vice grip in my pocket or two, but other than that,
Or a pair. But as you can see, he's not looking real hard. He's standing right there yapping his face.
yeah. Oh, he's probably trying to con somebody into going to the hardware store for him.
Exactly what he's saying.
Hey, Rob, you got a pair of ice creams by chance?
7.
7 pairs?
7.
And a gold pair
Yep.
for Sundays?
Only platinum. Only platinum. I build them from all the catalytic converters I find on the road.
It's kind of grumpy old car, and it's kind of older now. They usually have.
You can go to Portland and look at all those cars. I'm sure all of them have a pair of vice grips holding something on it.
My old man has a pair, but I don't have it.
Is Joe already here?
I think so.
We'll probably be wearing jeans or something. So, how you doing? Nice to see you, man.
See, he does remember.
Yeah, we went to the range together.
I didn't say you didn't remember. You said it.
I always say he never remembers me.
So you did this time?
What?
Remember who she is?
If that
I've
shitty.
already.
And there you go. Why you feel so bad?
How you doing, sweetie?
Real good. Staying busy.
We need
Were
to
you
get.
cleaning sewers the other day?
Yeah. That's what I do now. Well, I'm more making pipes.
We need to go back to the range.
Yes, this is in Washington State. We're in Washougal, Washington, just on the north side of the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon. About a few miles west or east of Interstate 205. We're on the east side of Clark County, where open carrying at a political rally is now illegal in the state of Washington, which is why one of the reasons why these people are out here. This event was actually scheduled initially because the mayor of this town threatened to arrest people who open carried at a political rally. And then the state of Washington decided to just pass their own law saying that it was illegal to open carry at political rallies. So this event here is a double whammy, and it should get going full bore in about 10 minutes. They got the barbecues going over there. Got a little pre-party flag wave. Are they selling flags over by AM, PM? It's usually where, oh, squirrel. Yeah, were they selling flags over by the AM, PM? Sorry, got distracted again.
Coming to be security for the
Nice flag.
March Pride
Anti-Antifa all day long.
But doesn't that mean that you're a fascist if you're against anti-fascists?
What's up, man? Didn't Winston Churchill say when there's an anti-fascist movement, it's going to be in the guise of fascism?
Yep.
So they already knew that in the 40s. So here it comes. So it's crazy how, man, this is crazy. You know what I'm talking about.
You bet. You bet.
It's crazy.
The new wave of fascism is going to come in the form of anti-fascism.
We mean you no harm. We're here to protect you.
We're here to save you from the fascists. Here's some more laws. We're here to save you from the fascists. Here's some more rules. We're here to say, don't you say anything we don't like.
Yeah. There's John.
There's Joey.
John. Well, don't get ran over.
Frogger, Patriot style.
What's up?
Shady side of the street.
How you doing? Hey.
Good, how are you? We'll be satisfied with
You know, Reagan said it best when he said that he was having a conversation with a Cuban fella, and he told him how lucky he was that he was able to come to America and get out of that horrible dictatorship that he was living in Cuba. And the Cuban guy said, "No, I am the luckiest one because I had somewhere to go. When freedom dies in America, where are we going? Where do we go?"
I think this guy's right.
Oh, we had incredible worship this morning.
I think so.
This morning was one of the best
Could be
worships
wrong.
I've ever experienced. I sang like my heart came out.
There's only one other short black guy for sure. I could be wrong.
Just being racist.
That's me.
Everybody looks the same, don't they? Good God. Unbelievable.
Because I'm already have no hair.
Whatever you say, rebel.
I'm pretty much bald.
Got Black Rebel over here talking a whole bunch of crap.
I need one of those
Good.
burgers, John.
Robert, pleasure.
I need one of. Are they selling those, or you just walk up and you get one?
What, guns? What are you talking
No,
about?
burgers.
No, I'm pretty sure you walk up and get them.
Oh yeah, they're barbecue.
Yeah, they were free last time.
Oh shit. Okay, he's got an AR-15. See, I was like seeing if somebody has an AR-15.
Might have to stay over here for the rest of the day, guys.
Why?
I'll have to end my live stream if I show that.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Already? Oh my god.
Oh, it's bad. It's so bad. I got.
was about to say the
If you go over there and
anti-Semitic
film, they'll
thing
send
about
you
you
down.
too. That you already know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, as long as I am not glorifying weaponry by showing weaponry, then I should be
Reporting
okay.
What's happening? How's that glorifying anything?
Sir, reporting what's happening is what got my channel deleted. I didn't even say anything, and it got my channel deleted.
Man.
Just because, like, I went to hold on, I gotta mute this for a second, guys, because I don't want to get deleted again. I'll be right back, I promise.
I'm not
All right,
signing
I'm
up
back.
for that job.
Nope.
That's all I know.
Nope, you're gonna get some resistance.
To
Oh
say
man,
the
that'd be
least.
one bad job now. Everywhere you're going, the reason why those people aren't vaccinated.
Like me, I've been all around. Like last year, I went all around like half the country. I went to Alaska. I went everywhere.
Speaking of Marxist CRT crap, if you have not seen it already, make sure you go to Rockfin, link is in the description, and see my video completely dismantling the 1619 project. Quite informative. Some of the people who are on here right now have watched it, and they will vouch for it. It is a good view, and you will learn a lot, and you'll be able to be more educated when you go to your school boards and say, yo, we don't want this in our schools. So check it out. It's easy. It's got a great functional app. It is worth it. That is where all my controversial footage will be going. That is where my footage will be going if I have to stop streaming this and move on to recording with my camera. It's too late to apologize. It's too late. Josh got muted. What'd you do? You pissed her off, bro. You pissed her off. She apologizes, but no, she did it on purpose. You done said the wrong thing. This is a very local rally. They've been planning this. This was actually planned for about a month. They had to postpone it from the original date because it was 115 degrees and they figured that, well, that wouldn't be fun. So it's only 85 degrees right now. I'm in the shade, so that's nice. That's a big thing going on here right now. Locally, conservatives taking over the school boards. A lot of people are running. A lot of people are contesting, or not contesting, but they're contesting seats. There we go. It's a big movement right now. The conservatives are tired of Washington being so blue, and they're starting to push back. They're starting to run for office. They're tired of sitting on the couch and watching the system not fix itself. I'm going to start putting together a calendar for all of the weekly events that are going on every week, and then so more people can show up to those. Washougal moms. I haven't heard any updates on the Washougal moms either. I'm sure we'll probably get an update today since we are here in Washougal. It'll be interesting to see if the fuzz drives by and sees open carry and does anything about it. I highly, highly doubt they will. Absolutely deplorable Kulik. I mean, no. Good job. Good job. We need more people. We need more people to start doing this all across the country. Like, it gives people hope. Just seeing the American flags on the side of the road, even if you're just one guy, it gives people hope. A lot of people are going to talk crap. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, it's not going to do nothing, ain't going to fix nothing. But it gives people hope, and it lets them know that they're not alone. Conservatives are scared. A lot of conservatives are scared. They're scared to put a Trump sticker or an American flag on their car. They're worried. They're afraid. If in this area, you put a America sticker on your car, you could come out of work and have your tire slashed. You could go to the store and come out and have your vehicle keyed. Like, leftists here and everywhere, they're insane. They're emotional creatures that lash out. They think that you're really the enemy. They think you're evil. So a lot of conservatives are scared. Yep, I was at the bar.
Maybe if he gets in, he can actually get me.
I was there. Location, we're at Limitless America in Washougal, Washington. Just across the river from the Columbia River from Portland, Oregon. Technically Troutdale here, geographically. But it's Portland. It's Portland until you hit Multnomah Falls. I actually told somebody that the other day. It is Portland until you hit Multnomah Falls, Beaverton, Tualatin, and Longview. Woodland is still Portland. Vancouver is still Portland. Tigard is still Portland. It's all Portland. You sit there and you tell people where you're from. I'm from Portland. Whenever I go across the country, they're like, where you from? Portland. Yeah. Seattle's not any better. I'm from Washington. Yeah, the one with the R. It doesn't have a DC in it. It's Washington, D.C. or Washington State. Nice. Very nice. Tomorrow I should finish up my special on what we have been dealing with for the last 2 years, some actual data, some actual science, so on and so forth. Kind of cutting through some of the conspiracy theories and trying to bring a little bit of common sense back to it. I'll be dropping that on Rockfin tomorrow, probably tomorrow evening. I'm dedicating the whole day to it to finish it up. I've been working on it for a while, it's like I was working on the 1619 project. So make sure you guys go over to Rockfin and follow and subscribe so you guys can see it and don't miss it. Of course, I bring my mic, but I don't bring my adapter for my mic because I'm special. I do believe this used to be a bar. Yes. Funny you say that most of the socialists that you've met don't want to work. When I was covering for a Ford, that's not bad. Anyway, when I was covering the riots, I would hear often like Antifa and these guys standing around talking amongst themselves, and I'm just kind of hanging out, blending in. And I often would hear them talk about how cool it was to come out and do this and protest, and they didn't really even care about most of it. But they get to come out and do this because there's nothing better to do, and they're getting paid by the government. Squirrel. Those unemployment checks, man. If you wanted those riots to stop, you stop those unemployment checks. You are welcome, Robin. Absolutely. Hypocrisy patrol. Yeah. That's how the West Coast works, doesn't it? Washington does something stupid. Oregon and California are like, oh, shoot, I'm going to try that out. And then Oregon does something stupid, and Washington and California are like, ooh, yeah, let's go do that. Let's do that. Yeah, that's how it works. It's how it works. Mr. Bill, there is not currently a Gadsden flag in this vicinity.
It's gonna be total.
Chapel you were.
What? Oh, so you know. Yeah. No, I know some people. But I use work. I know the guys who work.
What can I just say?
Don't get offended.
So some of you guys might be seeing over here across the street, there's some people looking over here right now. The reason there's a whole bunch of people looking over here is because we got Antifa in the house right there. See him? There he is. Oh God, he's totally Antifa. No, he's not. Not at all. But it's super funny though, because last time he that he and I were in the same vicinity of each other, there were people following him around in Olympia because they thought he was Antifa. And I actually made it a point to come up and talk to him. Like, I know the guy, he's a good guy. I made a point to come up and talk to him while these dudes were shadowing him. And I'm like, hey, you should tell them what the yellow means on your patches. And he's like, nah, if they want to know, they can ask. And I was like, well, I mean, it's weird how people don't understand that black and yellow means anarcho-capitalist, which is essentially what all hardcore, conservatives are, versus the black and red, which is anarcho-communist.
Dad, do you remember him?
And but they didn't care. They did not care. They were like, no, they're still following him around, intimidated him, chased him around. He ended up leaving. It was it was ridiculous. So it'll be funny because some of the people across the street here keep on looking at him like, oh, he's Antifa. Oh God, he's Antifa. We're gonna watch him. He just doesn't want to, die going out and filming Antifa and all that stuff.
Why? Okay, I suppose.
No, there's people across the street watching. I'm like, hey, if you guys see these people over here watching, there's Antifa right there. Oh God, there he is. Yeah. I will guarantee you that he's going to be the only person dressed in mostly black that you're going to see today. Actual Antifa is not going to come here. Nope.
Thank you so much for that shield.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Don't forget, fuck Antifa.
Hell yeah, fuck it. Not Antifa either, so you're just, I consider myself more of a libertarian anarchist, even though those are basically the same things. Yeah, not usually dressed like this, though. This is like that type of...
Yep. Black Rebel's gonna fight Antifa. Black Rebel's gonna fight Antifa here, guys. You can see it here first. It's gonna go. It's just gonna go. It's gonna go down. Andy, no, don't steal my footage. Yeah. It's good.
my footage, by the way.
He stole villains, man. Oh yeah. Yep. Andy, no, that's all he does. He doesn't film. He shows up with a camera just so he can get chased.
Because, you know that TP USA student that was assaulted by Antifa with that water bottle? That was my footage they used.
So if you mute it for a second.
I gotta mute it for a second, guys. Hold on. Oh no, I'm just kidding. It's not Black Rebel. Black Rebel's taking a break. He's relaxing for a while. He's recuperating.
People are actually gonna.
Oh wait, Quincy, black conservative preacher. Can you justify what happened with you and Jenner yesterday? Or not yesterday, about a week ago or so?
Men should not impersonate women. That's what Jesus said. Well, it's just funny how like people on like Facebook and shit are like, "Oh my God, preacher doesn't like homosexuals."
I know.
I'm like, have you not known this guy for years? He likes to say the F word. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. It's weird. So weird. How shocked is everybody that a street preacher is not going to be okay with the LGBTQ lifestyle? Somebody call the presses. Somebody call the New York Times. Former street preacher turned journalist is not okay with LGBT. Shocking. Mr. Bill says hello.
What's up, Mr. Bill? Who do you think I was?
I don't know yet. I don't know. Denzel. Yeah. Oh, so many squirrel moments. Think of water. Water?
White, yellow, and red.
Yellow.
Red, yellow.
And a cup of waters too. You hear me? Water.
Water.
Also.
Yes, Biden did threaten the Second Amendment with F-15s and nukes. You bet he did. There was a guy from Switzerland on the live stream the other day. He promised he was gonna. They just went and bought a whole bunch of F-36s over there. We just sold. We just.
F-36s, huh?
I think that's what he said. But he said. So I told him, I'm like, hey, if you get any of those F-15s, send them on over, because apparently Biden said they're all good and we can get them now. I would love an F-15. I'll take two.
I just wish people would read a history book.
History book, or like my favorite thing is our founding fathers never meant that. I'm like, no, bro, they actually wrote it down in a book. There's a book here. It's the Federalist Papers. You can buy it anywhere, and it tells you exactly what they meant by those words.
You don't even have to buy. You can just look online.
You could look on. Well, that's too much effort. And besides. And speaking of books, everybody, I wrote a book, so check it out.
That's because it's so hard to take one of these out and hold it on time.
Thank you, sir. Yes, smartphones make all information impossible. So one thing I used to say a lot was, in the age of information, in the age of Google, in the age of technology, ignorance is a choice. The fact that these people are sitting there trying to kick off Breyer, which is hilarious because he's a lefty.
Showing up in body armor and his rifle and everything. He's strapped up. He's walking down. Can't really see him. He's getting blocked now. Oh shit, sorry. I know you had to pause your stuff. You gotta put a sign that says no, don't say these words.
T, I just saw something from you.
There's always one guy
Ask your question again.
There's always one guy that does that.
Oh, yeah.
Always one guy.
Oh, he always does. Whenever it's these Second Amendment things, he always is like battle ready.
Oh, you recognize him?
Oh, yeah. He likes getting his picture taken for the paper and stuff. He's always like the most dressed. T, I didn't see what you...
I mean, I'm not
Text me again.
Stuff ready, but that doesn't mean I just come strapped like. Hello, everybody.
Yes. Yes, I am. Speaking of what was just asked of me, just so you guys know, like I'm doing this for free. So any and all donations would be greatly appreciated so I can pay my insurance and my car payment.
Donate to me.
That'd be awesome. Don't
Donate to me.
donate to me. Don't donate to anybody else, just me and Mr. Bill and Villain and the other guys who come out and do this stuff.
Actually, I don't do anything to justify getting donated to. So
You show up,
I just
sir.
show up.
You show up. That's enough.
Yeah, but you actually spread the word. I just I'm ready for stuff to go down. Or just their Patriots do exist.
TS, yes, I am still doing PayPal. I am doing Venmo,
It's got some good body armor.
Cash App, all that good stuff. Definitely doing PayPal. Wow, thank you very much for that. Thank you very, very much for that.
I still wear my $70 Rothko plate carrier. I have good plates. I got ceramic plates, thank God. No steel plates, but still, I don't really think I need some high-speed shit. Even though I have a fund for my night vision and spirit system fund. And that
Yes, welders. Hold on one second.
I've been like 9 months now, so I got 3,000 in it. So pretty much the night vision is the most expensive part. Spirit system is like 350, 400 for everything. But it's good shit.
You gonna donate that to me?
Your size is a little bigger than mine, so it's gonna cover your heart, and that's it. So you don't worry about it.
Guys, so what this is about, we are currently at Limitless. It's a firearm building, accessory, and so on store in Washougal, Washington. We're in Southwest Washington, just north of Portland, Oregon. And this is a Second Amendment rally, which is illegal now in the state of Washington to hold a Second Amendment rally because open carrying at a political event in Washington state is now a crime. This was initially billed as a civil disobedience rally against the mayor of this town, who threatened to arrest anybody who showed up to a political rally or protest with a firearm. And then during the planning of this rally, Washington state government people, we'll call them people, decided to make the entire state a gun-free zone for political protest. So this is a double whammy of a civil disobedience seminar. See, Washington State used to be a very, very...
Shut up!
Jesus loves you!
Go to Cuba! That's my favorite retort.
I like it.
Go to Cuba, China.
They're accepting people.
Yeah.
Yes, they are hardly people. Thank you very, very, very much for that donation, sir. It really means a lot. Like, it really does. That literally pays my insurance payment, which will be done as soon as I end this live stream. But anyway, yes, Washington State used to be a very, very open carry state. We could have a rally at the Capitol. You could actually open carry in the Capitol building itself. You just could not open carry into the chambers. It was a very, very freedom-oriented place. The hamburgers and beer are right over there. Dead center of your screen. Little blue canopies over there with the smoke coming out of them. You betcha. Washington State Constitution says, well, what everybody else's state constitution and our federal constitution says about it. But I will tell you that if you want to see something crazy, the Oregon state constitution, Oregon just passed a gun bill 2, a gun law, which makes concealed carry in the state extremely hard. you have to like carry the law with you at all times so you can make sure that you're not in the wrong spot. Like, it's rough. It's really rough. You should have a Second Amendment lawyer in your pocket at all times in the state of Oregon. Like, it's bad. But Oregon State's Constitution says that you cannot, if you're concealed carried, if you have a concealed carry permit or whatever, that you cannot, there's no such thing as a gun-free zone. You can go in a bar, you can go on a school campus, you can go anywhere in the state. There's no such thing as a gun-free zone in the state of Oregon as long as you have your concealed carry permit. That is now not the case according to this new law. So I'm very curious how that works. Mr. Bill, you were asking for a Gadsden flag. I think that one there is big enough. One has arrived.
And we're selling bullets. No, I'm not saying you're nothing. I'm kidding. I'm saying, oh my gosh.
I will carry my BB gun wherever I want. Yeah. How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Not bad.
You and this guy? Bunch of these people.
Yeah, we get around. We get around. Sounds like they're playing some church music over there now. I'll head over there probably once the speeches start. I do not have... You should be able to hear it just fine. I did not bring my adapter for my microphone, so that's fun. And I just don't want to walk to my car again. Hello, everybody just now joining. Make sure you guys go click the description of this video and sign up for Rockfin. That is where all of my controversial content will be going, and where this rally will be going if I have to end it due to, you know, bad things being said or shown. But yes, make sure you join me on Rockfin. That is also where I dismantled the 1619 project. Good video. Gave you a lot of examples of the crazy that she talks about. And corrects the record and provides some context so that way you guys can go to your school boards a little more informed when you're saying, hey, I don't want CRT and 1619 project garbage in my school. Yeah, hit the like button. Beat the algorithms. Yes, YouTube is very tolerant of different ideas. Don't forget the keywords, misinformation. The White House, YouTube, Facebook, they're all using it. Misinformation, buzzwords.
Get my life out of it.
I don't know what that is. Oh, it's a slingshot, but it's like a new slingshot. That's weird.
Doc Holiday arrived. Cassidy.
Yes, ma'am. Good mom.
Did you like my present?
It's a very flimsy pole for that flag. When am I coming to Oregon? When's Oregon doing anything? No, I'll probably be in Oregon City on Friday. I skipped Oregon City this Friday because I heard about another flag wave in Klamath, so I wanted to make sure I went up and gave some exposure to that. Tom Howie, that dapper dressed fella, he just showed up. Who's the Dixie Bailey lady that does the flag waves in Sandy? I don't know. I do need to go to Sandy one of these days. It's just money's getting tight. To be 100% honest, like money's getting really tight. My savings are pretty much all depleted since when they deleted me. Trying to recoup and stuff. So just I'm trying to like space out my stuff. Still trying to make it to as much as I can, but I have to weigh it out a little bit. That's why I've been doing Richfield so much, because it's pretty close. Kalama, that's why I went to Kalama, because it's close. A lot closer than Oregon City. So I'm going to try to get to Oregon City this week. Oh yeah, gas is definitely going up. It cost me $60 to fill up my vehicle the other day. $60 I don't have. I think they might start yapping over there, so I might as well cross the road and show you guys the food at least until they do. Oh, the inflation's nuts. Oh, it's hotter over here. I might go back over there anyway.
It's not physical, it's a spiritual war. Right? We gotta understand the power of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit. All right. Isaiah 52, we're going to start on verse 13.
Look at these guys. Look at these guys working hard.
Behold, my servant.
Don't you guys know we got a burn ban going on right now?
Shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. As many
It's a good answer. Anarchists. Pure anarchy over here.
Marred more than any man, and his form more
That's
than
right.
the sons of men. So shall he
True
sprinkle
that.
many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him, for that which had not been.
Ooh, it's hot.
Then shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they see. Isaiah 53. Who hath believed our reports, and to whom is the honor of the Lord? For he shall grow up before him as a tent, and as a root out.
I would love to take you guys in the store over there, but that would probably get my channel deleted again, so I don't want to do that.
Sorry, guys. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm going back over here in the shade. They're not talking yet. It's hot over there. I'll find you. All right. I can hear them.
I know.
This guy. God.
Good to see you, brother. Excuse me, sir. How's it been going so far?
Oh, living the nightmare, one dream at a time.
No doubt. Yeah. I gotta go say hi to Joey.
Do it. Sing, Tom, sing. He couldn't hear me. He said, if they'll let me.
Yeah, but they're too
I think it is I would love it if somebody were to look it up and correct me if I was wrong, but I want to say that it's going to be a Class A felony. I think it's a Class A felony if they carry on the Capitol grounds. I think it's a little more harsh if they carry on the Capitol grounds, but I know Washington, Oregon made a lot of felonies. Like a lot of their brand new gun laws are all felonies, so I'm getting them kind of mixed up because they both did it at the same time. So yeah, I get them confused. It could just be a Class A misdemeanor if you're just at a political rally. I don't remember. If somebody could look it up, that'd be great.
Well, see, that was 2 years ago when I was in the stand.
Really?
Yeah,
You did all over this.
that's amazing. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we found out
No, they might be speaking over there now. It's just so hot. Oh, it's the national anthem.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for a land of the free and the hope of the brave. It is time for us to come together, approach our government with our grievances, as our First Amendment gives us that right. May I remind you
were given to us as Americans are unalienable rights. What does that mean, unalienable? That means you cannot take them away and they cannot be lost. It is time for you as Americans and me to believe in our Constitution, to believe what it says, the right to keep and bear arms. That we, the people, have that right. It is not a right granted to us by our government. It is a right granted to us by our God. We are here. That's what we do for America. We assemble. I look out in this group here, and I see Americans, many nations represented. First Nations people, Black people, white people, Asian. All nations are represented as Americans, because that's who we are. We are a pot of delicious stew. That's us. That's who we are. And that's what makes us Americans. It's time, Americans, to stand up. We shall always be Americans. America is not just a place. It is a feeling. It is a position in your heart where you believe in freedom, where you will not be slaves. I refuse to be a slave. I refuse. And restriction of my freedom is slavery. And I will not yield to it. We are now in a permanent emergency after a flood. Now we are being protected with all kinds of new laws and enforced. We must address the issue. Address the issue. Thank you for your time. Thank you, God bless you.
Just so you guys know, if the feed cuts out or anything like that, I'm also recording with my camera.
Thanks for being here today. Really appreciate that. Let's hear it for Rick. The sheriff is one of the most important positions at a local level. You guys understand that? I'm not going to say anything bad. We're going to move on from the last sheriff. We need a sheriff that's really going to take care of us and protect our constitutional rights. Amen? One of the reasons why we're here today was this new bill that they passed. Basically, what it is, they said that you cannot open carry at demonstrations. This looks like a demonstration to me. This is a demonstration. The law says if 15 more people or the mayor or the police chief or the sheriff can declare it as a demonstration and come in and say that you cannot open carry. One of the reasons we decided to come here in Washougal was that, if you guys remember, a year ago, we had a mayor that was trying to ban open carry in Washougal. Remember that? Yeah. You guys remember that? Right? And basically, the reason why they want to do that is because Black Lives Matter was marching by, okay, which, God bless them, that's their right. It's the United States of America. They were marching by, and because people at Limitless, when they saw that BLM was burning down buildings all over the United States of America last summer, they found that maybe it'd be smart thing just to stand out front and open carry, just protect their shop, right? That seems logical. They were so angry about that, they were so mad about them exercising the right simply to protect this shop, right? When you see buildings burn down all over, and you see police getting down all over the country, they wanted to act like independent, strong Americans, and that upset the city council here in Washington. They made them angry. That's the thing. They don't want you to be strong, independent Americans. You understand that? Yep. They want you to depend on the government, even though they want to defund the police, okay? But then they won't take away your constitutional right to open carry. It's not going to This is something that is so important, okay? We have to stop bowing down to these unconstitutional laws that they passed in Olympia and Washington, D.C. It's got to stop. That's why it's very important to do at the local level. It does not matter. I'm fully convinced it does not matter what they passed in Olympia anymore. It doesn't matter. What matters is what we do here in Clark County. I love this county so much. I love it. Like every single day, there's always that temptation to think about going somewhere else. But I'm not running. I love this county. I love this county. enforce the United States Constitution, and that is it. That is it. The Constitution is not meant to limit you guys. Do you understand that? To get that process, the United States Constitution is meant to limit the government. That's what it's there for, and we need people to enforce that, especially what you saw in 2020, and all of a sudden, these governors, out of nowhere, across the United States of America, all of a sudden they get to pass whatever law they want, whatever mandate they want. Boom, done, signed it, done and over with, okay? They get to shut down any business that they want. Excuse me, if I may be wrong, but I swear, non-essential sounds like English Nazi term. Is that right? Because if you guys are getting up in the morning and you're going out, you're working, you're making money for your family, you are 100% essential. Here's the thing, coming up, this is what is very important at a local level. I don't know if you guys realize what happened last year during the lockdown, but we're really going around really trying to support businesses that were courageous enough to stay open, okay? All right? It's very important to do that. Now, I'm telling you right here, right now, I'm calling it, okay? We're going to have more lockdowns coming, okay? It's coming. And it's going to come. They've already did it in LA. Did the mask mandates again. They're going to start coming in. Listen, do you think they just stopped? You think they took all that power just... We're going to see more riots. We're going to see more mandates. I'm saying we got to stick together. We're going to support people. So all the stuff to the side. All the division, the anger, all that stuff. Because we got some serious stuff coming up in this community. And I don't care what's going to happen all over the country. I don't care what's happening in Olympia. I'm completely committed and focused on what's going to happen in this beautiful county, in Clark County. This is why the sheriff position is so important. Okay? We also have Ford here today. He's running for mayor. I'm glad he's here today. We also have Joe Kent here today. I'll say some things about Joe here in a minute. Another thing I'll talk about in terms of it's very related to the Second Amendment, okay? Voter fraud is the biggest issue in this country right now. You guys agree? You've seen that news already in Georgia. They finally had to admit, okay, those tens of thousands of votes that switched, okay? And he only lost by like 12,000 or something of that nature. You already have in Maricopa County, governors on it. I'm telling you right now, there's people behind the scenes that have been pushing, but the cheating happened here in your county, and we're going to get an audit in Clark County. They served the Clark County auditor, they served him already. Okay, he has a decision that he needs to make. If he chooses to not do an audit, which is our constitutional right, okay, we're going to push him. We're going to push him hard. We're going to push him hard. Okay? It's going to take boots on the ground like this, right? It needs 50,000 people that we can audit. Because listen, think about this. These people outside our country came in, okay? They bought out traders in our own country, right? They picked their own presidents. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about it. If you believe that to be true, that's an act of war. And we no longer have our republic anymore. Right? How do we have a republic? Voter fraud is one of the biggest issues coming up, and that's absolutely related to the Second Amendment, okay? Because if we can't even pick good politicians to go to Olympia because of voter fraud, pick governor, okay, because of voter fraud, then our Second Amendment and all our other rights are in danger. You guys agree? And then I'm going to finish up with this. This is probably the most important part. This is the biggest way that changed in the last few months, okay? Politics are very important. It's very good to be involved. It's very good to participate. It's just the difficulties that we're going to see coming up on politics, okay? It's spiritual. One of the things that I realized is that political persecution is already accepted. Big tech, okay, the media, well, if you are some sort of conservative or a freedom fighter, if you're on that side, or you're on the whole side, or whatever, we've already accepted the fact that you can't even have a Facebook, that you don't even have a platform, that you get kicked off of everything. They've already justified kicking people off of banks. You can't have a certain bank account. Okay? It's getting worse and worse. And here's what I think what they're doing. I think that the Democrat Party, they're screaming things to get Christians out of the party on purpose. Yeah, that's why they're pushing the abortion. That's why they're saying things. You're like, why are they saying that? That's crazy. I think it's because they're truly trying to push believers, people, or maybe not even believers, but people who have good hearts, trying to push them out. Okay? So that they can continue persecuting so-called Republicans, but I truly believe it's about persecuting believers. That's the end goal. That's it. That's what I believe in my heart. So I'm going to say this, and I hope you take this to heart. It is so important that you get right with God now. Now. Okay? You don't have to be perfect. I'm far from perfect. I have all my flaws. You don't have to be perfect. Let's just start getting right with God because things are going to get difficult. Okay? I want you to think about the potential upcoming food shortages. Okay? With the new lockdowns. You see what's going on in Africa? Okay? You don't hear about this. The biggest reason what's happening in Cuba and Africa is because of the lockdowns. Okay? And so we have to be ready for these types of things, but again, it's all about community and anyways, guys, I thank all of you for coming out here today. I really appreciate it. Right now, we're going to get Ford up here. He's going to say a couple things, and then Ford, are you cool with him asking you some questions? I do. All right, cool. Ford, get up here.
All right, guys. Hey, can you guys hear everything okay?
Well, thanks for coming out, everybody. Come out tonight.
Cool.
And I have to tell you, I did not know he was running for sheriff. My wife and I go to the gym over here in all proud. This guy has the most energy I have ever seen. We'll be out there working out, and this guy's out on the treadmill, getting down every day. So,
Thank you, Susan.
So now we'll get to my few minutes. I'm not a big talker. I like to talk to people a bit more one-on-one, but my name's Derek Ford, and I'm a Republican. And, I voted for Trump, and I'm not afraid to say it. Running for mayor of Washougal is a nonpartisan position, but I'm just not going to take that approach. I am who I am, and that's who I'm going to be. If I lose because of that, I lost. I'm sorry. But that's just my first approach. So let me just say, right now we're in the middle of a primary. So Friday, you guys should have all gotten your ballots in the mail. There's three of us running. Myself, Paul Greenlee, and Michelle Roberts. I'll be honest with you, the other candidates are good people and have done good things for the community. Paul Greenlee has served as a council member for, I think it's like 14 years. So he's obviously invested in the community. And he probably wants to do this. Michelle Ramos, we don't know much about her. I don't know much about her. But you know what? She does do some good things for the community. Other stuff, that's great. That's it. But I'll tell you what, I'm here for business. The city is a business and it needs to be ran as such. I'm a conservative candidate. I'm here for fiscal responsibility. And let me just tell you, if you guys follow the Facebook or you hear me certain things.
Yeah, all right, you're good.
I'll give you just one example. That's what happens when city council.
Ford. His last name is Ford. He's running for mayor of Washougal.
My wife and I actually have a car in there because we were told by the city it was all criminal. So when I sat down with the city manager and I asked him about these things, he said, yes, it is grant money. 2 days later, I got an email from Mr. Scott saying, oh, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Cost $80,000. So I sat there and I said, okay, we just spent $80,000 on a garden and a playground. We're right next to somebody's house. It's literally feet away. How do these people feel about this? And only a few people in the community can use it. Well, just recently, talking to some people, they said, Derek, there's so much more to this. That's what's next. How much did the city buy the property for? $518,000 worth of extra land as taxpayers of Washougal to a community garden. Anybody here know that? Crazy. And I'll tell you another thing. It's not meant to be permanent. These things have been going on in our city far too long. And that's why people like myself want to get involved. I am not here for recognition. I am not here for a title. I am here for business. I was sitting with a business person, a couple other guys here in town, months ago, before we even decided to run. I wanted to make some decisions about, what the future of Washougal looks like. And this guy said, words couldn't be truer. It's people like us that should be in office, but we don't have the time. And that's when I looked at him and I said, you know what? I'm going to get involved.
Yeah!
The city council is very liberal, city council, like I said. That's not my view, so I'm going to try to point out somebody else. He's lucky enough he doesn't get to run through a primary, but I saw him running around here somewhere. Chris De La Roche, where are you? Just raise your hand. Come on in here for a second, Chris. I'm going to get this guy in front of you guys right now because he's running against Molly Colson, who is the current mayor, and he's going to be running against her. We need to make sure we get this man elected as well. And I know he wasn't prepared to speak. I just want to start people, guys, recognize her.
Thank you, Space Frog.
With the face. Because hopefully it's people like us that get involved with the city council and we can work together to make positive changes. Now for me, when I got involved, I said, hey, let's think of 3 things that I want for this city that I think are the best and most important ideas right now. And it's the
If you guys can't hear it very well, I'm also recording it on a camera, which is going to be a lot clearer.
The second thing for me is making sure we are funded in our public service, the fire department and the police, making sure we have all this in place with a long-term future plan. And the third and final on my top of the agenda is business. Downtown Washougal is finalize this. We can think of some options. Parking is an issue. Some ideas. And we're hopefully getting it on city council. All of us, we can come up with some ideas. So go home. If you haven't got your ballot, open it up. Please vote with your hearts. I'm going to do what's best for you. All right? I'm going to hand this over to Chris. Do you want to say a few words? I just want to make sure he starts getting recognized. He's lucky enough in that primary, but he's going to get in there. He's going to get some great things too.
Good afternoon. Thanks for coming out. I didn't expect you to do this over right now.
Absolutely.
The other thing that drives me nuts is just the lack of pride in our community. If you drive around, sure, downtown looks great. Drive down East Street. What do you see? Weeds, garbage, trash. I mean, it's things like that that drive me nuts. And that's the responsibility of our city government, right? And employees should be taking care of that stuff. And the fiscal responsibility. I know they're wasting money on all these pet projects and all their soul tents and all that type of stuff. Campus is going through the same thing. Don't think that we don't talk. So their council, our council, they're on the same page. So again, getting people like-minded on the same page on that board to disrupt that wheel, upset the apple cart. Right? You did it moving in the right direction. That's about it. I'm going to work for you. I didn't want to do this, and we kind of had the same conversation. If not us, then who? And I've always supported blue. That was the point blue. And we really do need to look at our emergency services. I think that's going to be one of our biggest issues over the next 10 years. We're going to have to figure that out. Thank you for coming out, everyone.
Thank you.
I'm just kind of opening act on the jokes I tell them, and I think, the man you guys want to see right now, who's going to take Jamie Butler down.
Is it better? I'll start over. So, hey, thank all of you very much for being out here, for coming out and exercising your constitutionally protected rights to assemble and to bear and to keep arms. Because like Joey said, right now, the left is coming after us with absolutely everything they have to take away our most basic God-given rights, our right to assemble, our right to worship, our right to bear arms. And we will not let that happen. We will not let anyone take that away from us. It doesn't matter who it is, whether it's Joe Biden, whether it's Jay Inslee. So I'll talk a little bit about myself, what my platform is, what I want to get done, and then I want to take a couple questions from the crowd, because this process that I'm in, I believe it is a job interview, and my job is to be as accessible as possible to people and to hear your questions and to hear what matters to you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Joe Kent. I was born right here in the Pacific Northwest. As far back as I can remember, all I ever wanted to do was go and join the military and go fight for this nation. So right when I turned 18, I did just that, enlisted in the Army as an infantryman, worked my way into Ranger Regiment, then Special Forces. Right after that, 9/11 happened. That changed the trajectory of my life in this nation. So I spent the next pretty much 2 decades continually deployed, had the privilege of serving this nation overseas at war 11 times in combat. It was the greatest opportunity and the greatest honor of my life, was going to war for our great nation with great Americans from all across the country, just like we have here, just like Ray talked about, this great melting pot of people that want to go together and fight for our flag. That was the greatest honor of my life. So in that time, as I was seeing the best this nation had to offer, I also saw the worst that this nation had to offer. And that was our establishment, our permanent ruling class. Politicians from both sides of the aisle that forgot or neglected the fact that their job was to support and defend the Constitution and to look out for the best interests of this country. After 9/11, we had to go to war. We had to strike Al-Qaeda. We had to take out those who had attacked us. Shortly thereafter, we deviated into wars of regime change and nation building for no clear actual objective for this country or national security purpose. So I saw that, and leader after leader failed to get us out of these wars. That was my awakening. President Trump changed all that for me. He came in and he went after the Republican establishment, went after the Democrat establishment, and he tried to put us back on a footing where we were doing what was right for this country. He let us take out the territorial caliphate. He let us get tough on Iran, take out their terrorist leaders. And then,
yes, he's running against Jamie Herrera Butler.
What no president in my lifetime had tried to do. He tried to get us out of our wars. The deep state turned on him, and that affected me in a very deeply personal way. My late wife, Shannon Kent, who was also in special operations, was deployed to Syria right after President Trump tried to get us out the first time. A month later, my wife and 3 other great Americans were killed by a suicide bomber in Manbij, Syria. They would be alive to this day had the orders of the Commander-in-Chief, President Trump, who all of us, the American people, elected, had not been thwarted and backstabbed by unelected bureaucrats in our establishment. So seeing all that, I knew I had to start speaking out. I was going through a lot of personal grief, as you can imagine. I'm blessed with a great family and a great strong faith to get me through that. So I started speaking out in support of President Trump's foreign policy and the Trump agenda, because the media and the establishment turned against him and were slandering him, trying to make it look like he didn't know what he was doing, like he was going to get our country deeper into these wars. So I intended to continue serving in that capacity. I was offered a job in the second Trump administration, and then 2020 hit us all like a train. We saw the COVID-19 pandemic completely and totally weaponized and exploited against all Americans to take away our most basic rights. That happened, and then Portland and Seattle devolved into nightly riots and chaos, and we saw Antifa and BLM march across the bridge, and our leaders, the exact same leaders, the establishment, the permanent ruling class, the people that we elect and we pay to protect us, were completely and totally derelict in their duty. And thank God we have our Second Amendment, and thank God we have courageous Americans here that would actually go and stand the line. We had Patriot Prayer that would go out there and tell these guys they can't just get away with anything. Thank God we have that. But we should have had leaders that were strong enough to take care of that for us. So the woman that I'm running against, we heard nothing from Jamie Herrera Butler. We heard nothing from many of our local leaders. Not all of them. Some of them actually spoke out, but the vast majority were completely silent. Jamie Herrera Butler was one of them. She said nothing, even as Antifa marched blocks away from her office in Vancouver, was silent, until it was time to cross the aisles and vote with the Democrats to tie President Trump's hands from deploying troops to quell the violence. So in a time of crisis, the last thing you do is take away tools or resources from the leader who's tasked with dealing with that. So Jamie was completely and totally negligent and derelict in her duty to protect the people of this district. We saw that, and then right after that, once the Democrats were done weaponizing the violence and done weaponizing the virus, and they were able to steal the election with the help of big tech, who's also trying to cancel every single one of us, label us as insurrectionists. They stole the election, and they told us, hey, if we questioned it, we would be labeled as terrorists, and they would start coming after us. We're seeing all that come to light even more now. Once again, Jamie Herrera Butler was silent. She refused to contest the stolen election. One of her main jobs, the things that we pay her for, is to go and certify that election. She said that wasn't her responsibility to actually call out the widespread fraud and discrepancies. She was derelict again, and then she voted for the sham impeachment of President Trump. Went one step further and offered to be the star witness in the Democrats' sham impeachment trial. So seeing all that, seeing the direction that our country was heading in, I knew I had to do something, because I have 2 young sons who lost their mother when they were very young. And soon I'm going to have to look them in the eyes and explain to them that this is the country that their mother gave her life for. And the condition that we're in right now, I can't do that. So it was time for me. I felt that it was my calling to go and to challenge Jamie Herrera Butler and to take back that seat so we can hold this district. Because right now, this district is strategic terrain. We're right between Portland, we're right between Seattle. The far left wants control of this because we stand in direct contrast to their narrative. They want to make it seem that the entire West Coast is full of radical progressives that will be their proxies and will do their bidding. But we know here in the 3rd Congressional District, right in the heart of I-5, that we are not. We are strong, proud, conservative Americans. So everything the far left is doing right now is targeting one thing and one thing only that they don't have control of. And that is strong, faithful, independent American families. And those strong, faithful, independent American families are able to stay that way because of our Second Amendment. So our Second Amendment guards every single right that we hold dear, and we will never back down from that. My stance on the Second Amendment is it applies as written. There's no and, there's no nothing after that. It's not about hunting, it's not about self-defense, it's about keeping a tyrannical government in check. Our founders were absolute geniuses. So the Biden administration right now, they are trying to target families because families are the one thing they can't control. They have control of every single other facet of our society. They have the media, they have education. They were able to manipulate an election to give them total control of our federal government and probably even our state government here in Washington, if we're being honest. We need to have those audits. So they were able to maneuver on us as we were focused on our families, focused on our faith, focused on our jobs. They were able to do that. And so their final target is the American families. And they're attacking that on the cultural front. They have control of the media. They infiltrated our school systems long time ago. And they're pumping in this critical race theory. And critical race theory is just basic Marxist doctrine. So what you do with the Marxist doctrine is you attack and destroy the families so you can divide people. Everything with critical race theory, they say race because race is very polarizing, right? But it's not even about race. It's about complete and total control. So right now they're making it look like all the white people and the bad people. But once they're done with the white people, it won't be the white people, it'll be somebody else. Because the whole job for them is to have one group of elites that have complete and total control of what people can think, who they can associate with, and how they can gather. It's all about control. That's why they're pumping critical race theory in. That's why they need groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa to go so violent occasionally whenever it suits the left's agenda, as they did in 2020. So from the federal perspective, what I want to do as a congressman, once we get rid of Jamie Herrera Butler, we need to safeguard and protect our most sacred institution, and that is our elections. We have to adjudicate the election of 2020. That's all. A lot of that's starting right now. We're making great progress. Maricopa County, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Michigan, Wisconsin. It's all coming out. I hope and I pray that there will be a 12th Amendment solution soon. But I'm not 100% confident on it. The left is going to try to jam us up in court. So we have to win in 2022. And when we do, we take back the House and the Senate. I want to lay out all the evidence for the American people. There's plenty of formats that were supposed to do this adjudication before our courts were, but they turned and they ran and they hid like cowards, and they wouldn't hear the cases. So Congress must lay it all out for the American people. Subpoena witnesses, subpoena evidence, put people under oath, make it very clear what happened in 2020 so the states then can see how much fraud there was and enact new state level voter integrity laws. The evidence that we're going to get out of that hearing is going to give us the ability and the proof to submit impeachment papers for Biden and Harris if they are still in power. So we will impeach them. We will not let them steal this election. So that's a guarantee. Any politician at the federal level who's not talking about adjudicating the election right now is not a serious person, and they are derelict in their duties. Don't let anyone shame you out of calling out fraud where we see it. Once we adjudicate that, we need to focus solely on strengthening the American family. That starts with the education system. We need rigorous school voucher programs and school choice. So when these teachers have these indoctrination facilities, essentially, in these public schools, the parents need to be empowered to pull their kids out. And when they pull their kids out, the money goes with them. That hurts the pocketbooks of these education institutions, and that takes away the power from the teachers' unions. It puts the power back in control of the parents to put their kids in private school or to homeschool them. We must empower the parents with their children's education. The second thing that we have to do is we have to give parents the ability to stay home with their kids. I'll talk about the economy here in a second, what's happened with that, but right now it's almost impossible to have a mom or a dad stay home with their kids. It's really expensive. I support the child tax credits, but they need to be much higher. I think we need $10,000 per child tax credits to make sure that there can be a parent staying home with their children. The American dream is not mom and dad working 8-hour days and their kids shipped off to a daycare facility or shipped off to school and then after school programs. We need to create an environment. This is what America First is all about. Creating an environment that lets families thrive. After that, we have to fix our broken economic system. This is a national security issue. It's also a moral issue. So decades ago, back when our grandparents or the boomer generation and the greatest generation was coming up, we had a vibrant and independent manufacturing system that was the backbone of this country. And that allowed young men and young women to graduate from high school, get a little bit of vocational training, and then to go into a job that would last them a lifetime and allow them to support a family. Decades ago, the left and the right, for different reasons but the same eventual goal, shipped our manufacturing lines overseas. The left, a lot of it was done on the altar of environmentalism, especially here with the timber industry and our natural resource, our natural energy industry. On the right, they said, hey, whatever the market bears, free market, the libertarian types said, hey, if this is overall good for the economy, it's going to be good for the American family. If it's cheaper to make things over in China, that's going to benefit us because we have access to cheap goods. That's a complete and total lie, and that's done nothing but gut out the backbone of our country and create an environment where it's impossible, nearly impossible, to graduate high school and to get a job that will allow you to support a family. It's also a national security threat. We all saw when COVID-19 happened, we couldn't produce PPE, we couldn't produce medication. There's a wide variety of things we couldn't produce. We can produce very little right now in this country. That's a national security threat. We're letting the Chinese Communist Party, our #1 geostrategic competitor, who is at war with us, control the world's and our nation's supply lines. It's absolute insanity. We're also relying on them because we don't produce anything anymore. We run on a debt economy. We allow the Fed to borrow against the dollar. We can borrow against the dollar because we're the primary reserve holder. That means everybody backs up their currency with the US dollar. We rely on China to buy off our debt bonds. So at a time and place the Chinese Communist Party is choosing, they could stop buying off our debt bonds, challenge our status as a primary reserve holder, crash our entire economy, and make the 2008 housing bubble crisis look like a walk in the park. So we have to get on a wartime footing to bring back manufacturing to this country. We use the power of the federal government to tell all these companies, all these corporations that have shipped their jobs overseas, you come back now and you can have corporate tax breaks. We'll make it good for you because this is your patriotic duty if you're an American company. If you choose not to do that, that's fine. You can do business in China or anywhere else, but we will tariff the ever-loving heck out of you. Our nation used to run entirely, before the income tax came, we used to run entirely on tariffs. So we need to bring back and offensively use tariffs. Most of the free market types in the Republican Party don't like to talk about tariffs because it affects the Wall Street bankers, it affects the top corporate elite. But we need to look out for the American working family. That's why the left is attacking it. That's why America First must defend it. That is 100% our agenda. After that, we have to clean up our broken immigration system. We need an immigration moratorium. We need to finish building the wall. The U.S. military needs to go and reinforce the southern border to stop the cartels from controlling the flow of human traffic. We need to reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy for asylum seekers. We need to offensively use our foreign aid. All these South American countries that are shipping up migrants, they have to be absolutely cut off from foreign aid. They don't get one more penny until they police their own borders. After that, thank you. After that, we have to go after legal employment-based migration. I am okay with someone marrying a foreigner and that person becoming an American citizen because that helps create American families. What I am not okay with is these corporations shipping over massive amounts of labor because it undercuts U.S. workers. So at the same time, we're hollowing out our manufacturing base in this country. We're telling pretty much from Gen X on, hey, you can't get a good job out of high school, you gotta go to college. So take a whole bunch of debt and just get a college degree. It doesn't matter what your degree's in, but get a college degree. It'll all work out, you get a great white collar job. And that sold multiple generations at this point with this myth that they were gonna get these great paying jobs, and now all they have is debt. They can't afford to buy houses, they can't afford to start families. It's put an unbelievable amount of financial stress on people. And if you were in the tech sector, you were supposed to be one of the smart ones. You got one of those jobs that was going to be part of the new tech economy. Well, the major corporations don't want that. They want to ship in cheap Indian slave labor on the H-1B, L1 visa system that undercuts the American worker. That's what's happened a lot in Portland, Vancouver. We've seen it up and down the I-5 belt with the tech sector. Those jobs need to be cut off. It's the same thing with illegal immigration with the low skill. They want to bring in low skilled illegal immigrants because they will work at a cheaper rate than Americans will for manual labor. I reject the concept that there are jobs that are too dirty for Americans to do or too sophisticated for Americans to do. So when I was 18 years old, I grew up very middle class, I joined the Army. It's a very labor intensive thing to do. Americans will work. So we just need to take away all of these loopholes for bringing in foreign workers. I reject completely this idea that many on the right seem to have, that Americans won't do STEM and we won't learn how to do technology and work in the technology fields. So that's why they say we bring in all these Indian high-skilled workers. I reject that completely. Americans, we create most of these technologies here. We should be employing our people. Our federal government needs to be used to benefit the American people. That also really is going to affect how we take care of all the unrest we've had throughout this entire nation, especially here in the Pacific Northwest. Antifa is absolutely out of control in Portland and out of control in Seattle. We need to use the federal government, the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, to go and target Antifa's leaders, take out their financiers, and expose exactly how they're being funded to the American people. Portland has failed to do it. I know I wanted to say, hey, let Portland just deal with that. It's a Portland problem, they voted for it. But that's not true anymore. They're essentially a state sponsor of terror because they have Antifa and BLM deploy up here in the 3rd Congressional District, but also throughout the entire country. That is the jurisdiction of the federal government. There's no reason why Jamie Herrera Butler and most of these other elected representatives aren't calling the director of the Department of Justice, U.S. Marshals, and FBI to the floor and saying, hey, why are you not going after Antifa? Why are you chasing after grandmothers and MAGA hats that were somewhere near the Capitol on January 6th? So those are my main platforms. America First is putting American families first in defending that. I will pause real quick and take any questions that anyone has, basically until they cut me off.
Are they not part of the corruption?
The FBI is 100% part of the corruption. So, I mean, it depends on which level of corruption you want to talk about, but they need to be held accountable. So we need to bring out those directors and the DOJ and say, explain to me what your priorities are. Why are you not going after Antifa and BLM, who's burned city after city, murdered people on the streets of Portland, and nothing has happened? So we need to continue to fire. We need to put pressure on the administration, whatever that administration is, to fire the leaders of the FBI if they're not defending the American people. Because if they're not defending the American people from interstate crime, then what's their job? Because right now it appears like their job is chasing down, again, grandmothers and MAGA hats that were somewhere near the Capitol on January 6th, or not answering questions about how many agents they had in the crowd on January 6th, or abusing the FISA warrant process and spying on Americans for political reasons. So we need to lay all that out there and hold them accountable and make them do their jobs. Yes, sir. You asked me about the Green New Deal. I mean, we just have to fight back. We have to really explain how absolutely insane and ludicrous that is. I mean, I want to preserve our great nature as well, but the Green New Deal has really nothing to do, I think, with the actual environment. It has everything to do. It's like critical race theory. They talk about race. It's a money-making scheme, but it's also control. It federalizes so much of our infrastructure and so many things that should be on the state. And also, it's just like the Paris Climate Accords. It's one of these things that it's not going to work unless the entire world cooperates on it. It can't be just something that America does. Exactly. Yeah.
So we're working for clean air, and the rest of the world says to hell with it. Rivers, oceans, and plastic aren't off America. They're off India.
So the Green New Deal and the way the Biden administration has gone after our energy independence, in my opinion, and I think this actually holds up, they're trying to force a crisis. Everything they're doing to our economy right now, and then with the energy issues we're having, thank you, is trying to force a crisis, because once there's a crisis, as they saw with the COVID-19 pandemic, the more power you get and the more things you can nationalize and seize control of. This is literally the Marxist playbook. This is the playbook of totalitarian regimes. They're constantly extending limits. He asked if Trump was going to come here and do a rally and endorse me. If he is, here, Mr. President, please, we'd love for you to come here and endorse me. My honest answer is I hope you would. Yes, ma'am. So with H1 and S1, pretty much that House Resolution number 1 and Senate 1 is basically a copy and paste of the election of 2020. It nationalized it and gave them all the control to do 2020 again. It was a very dangerous bill, completely unconstitutional, and thankfully, to my knowledge, it's pretty much been killed off. Joe Manchin and some of those Democrats actually did the right thing, as much as I hate to say it. Yeah, I think it didn't pass the Senate. It made it through the House, and I think Manchin and some of the more moderate Democrats, there's actually a few left somewhere, they did the right thing, I believe. Yeah. But that's their goal. So they're not going to just say, oh, we struck out on this one. They want to nationalize it. And then, wouldn't you know it, we're coming up on 2022, and there's the Delta variant and the blah, blah, blah variant. Like, we're going to have to mail out the ballots again. Yes, ma'am.
And I was born there, and I'm pretty upset about that. In other words, are you telling me that the mayor and the city council of Vancouver, or whoever, can just be a member of that, and here they ship them off to teach them how to act like the world wants to be, the UN? Is that true? Vancouver, Washington is part of that Green New Deal.
I honestly don't know.
I asked people to look up Agenda 21.
Yeah.
And search your county, your whole county.
The sun's getting today. Well, we'll figure it out. She asked a question about health care, specifically a state bill from Congress, federal Congress. I wouldn't have much to do with, but in general, our health care system, we need the private sector to get involved. We need to create an ability for there to be more competition in the market, because right now there's only a handful of healthcare providers. They can all fix the rates. It's basically a rigged system against the consumer. If there's more competition on the market, that's going to benefit consumers. I support individual healthcare savings accounts. That would be something that you would carry from employer to employer. It would be yours. It wouldn't belong to the employer. You would be able to put money into that, get a high interest rate, and not be taxed on it. And then for folks that can't afford that, essentially, it'd be a program kind of like food stamps. Like right now, no one in America starves to death. If you have a food shortage, you can get food stamps, but the government doesn't control food. You go and spend those food stamps at different stores, so it still creates competition in the market. I think the way that we have the federal, especially the federal government, running the healthcare system and mandating it is absolutely, it's unconstitutional, and it's just completely and totally ineffective.
Two questions. Now, you know that our city council belongs to England, which is ICLEI. We need to kick this out because this makes us part of the UN. And under the UN, this is part of the depopulation plan. So they're poisoning our food and our water, they're cutting all kinds of things, they're the enemy. And if
So I gotta not record this, guys, or I'm gonna get deleted. So I'm sorry. I apologize. It's not my fault. I'm not making money. It's not my fault. I can't do it. Gosh. Just, it's one of those things. I hope you guys couldn't hear all that, because if you could, I'm going to get deleted. And if I do get deleted, please follow me on Rockfin. That's my new home. It's my new home is Rockfin, where I can talk about all the controversial stuff and so on. But as soon as she started talking about chemtrails, I kind of backed away. Thought about backing away, and then she went full on, and that's why I got deleted in the matter of a month already once before. So I hope you guys couldn't hear all that. I might have to delete this thing as soon as it's over, and that'll really suck. Okay. Oh, it sucks.
It's pretty much a joke. It's a joke that we pay for. It has way too much authority and power. Something else that you spoke to too about the COVID vaccines.
Okay, well maybe I can.
Get this experimental vaccine. And then
I got muted. Maybe
we have to break up big. Mandating the government to have the private sector could, and big tech could give them the tools to do that, because big tech already has a ton of data on all of us, not to mention the infractions on our First Amendment rights and our ability to pretty much exist in the digital space.
Yeah.
It's another reason to just break up big tech as the monopolies that.
And see, what he's saying right now isn't bad. It's not bad at all. It's just one of those things where it's like, just the fact that somebody is saying something like that, like talking about it in general, just that subject, it just makes you get deleted. So, good times.
You have the suicide epidemic that veterans are facing.
Okay.
The VA. I think we all have our own stories with the VA, and the VA is bloated. It's an absolute bureaucracy that doesn't work in the favor of the veterans. Something that President Trump did that's near and dear to my heart. Actually, Tiffany Smiley, shout out to her, who's running for Senate. She worked heavily on the Mission Act as well. So the Mission Act pretty much did what I was talking about with private health care. It gave veterans the option of seeking out private health care that was closest to them and not relying on the VA. The Mission Act was a great start. It really helped out a lot of veterans, but I think we need to go even further and bring as much.
Are you behind me
private
line?
sector into the VAs and possibly
Common sense conservative.
I think the VA is just a bloated bureaucracy at this point, and I think that's why we've had so many failures with that. The mental health crisis, I think we've just started to scratch the surface of, and so I do think we need the agility of the private sector to help truly take that on. So I think something like when we let veterans choose what service they want or help them obtain that service, and the government takes up the check. I think that's much more efficient than having this massive bloated bureaucracy. Right. All right, one more. Yes, sir.
He's running for federal office.
First question was, if we take the House and Senate back,
U.S. House of Reps. He's trying to unseat.
We have to start somewhere. It's going to be a mess. Yes, we can. Yeah, absolutely. So one of the biggest roles that Congress has, and I feel that Congress has been derelict on for years now, is oversight. Oversight of the Department of Justice, Department of Defense, all these different government bureaucracies. There's oversight committees for it, and you very rarely see them exercise their subpoena power and call people on the carpet and demand that they answer questions. And the DOJ, I mean, we could stay here for the rest of the night and only hit the beginning of all the infractions they've had against the American people that are completely and totally unconstitutional. I think a good starting point is obviously January 6th, what happened there.
It's Limitless America.
The intelligence community, the FISA warrant system, the spying that went on the Trump administration, the CIA spying on members of the House and the Senate that happened under Obama's watch when Brennan was the director of the CIA. So I think the oversight role that Congress plays, when we take the House and the Senate back in 22, we have to burn those committees up. They have to be always occupied. There always has to be people being brought to the carpet to answer for all of the overstepping that's been done of our constitutional rights by the law enforcement, the federal law enforcement community, and the intelligence community.
So that's right. He's talking about he doesn't have the clout to do it.
Yeah,
like he'll be a new guy coming in.
Biden or Harris could
I
stop
think that's
that,
what he
but
meant.
they won't. They're picking absolute tyrants, the heads of those organizations. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
And I'll see if I can ask him.
Okay, we're gonna finish this up. Troy's gonna say something like 2 minutes about the homeless feed. Then we're gonna have a raffle. I do want to ask this one question. Do you guys want an audit in Clark County?
Yeah!
It's very important. We're gonna need you guys, okay?
Yes!
We're gonna need you very soon. So you need to go to thepatriotcalendar.com. You need to go on there and figure out how to follow us for upcoming events, because we're gonna start rallying for this audit, okay? Because it's got to happen. We already know there's been cheating in Clark County. We already have the evidence, okay? And so that's a really big deal. Thepatriotcalendar.com. All right, Troy's a good buddy of mine. He's helping feed the homeless on Thursdays, doing a lot of outreach, and so he's gonna talk about it real quick, and then we're gonna do a raffle.
Everybody having a good time today? Yeah, it seems like everybody's having a good time. You ate like horses. All right, so like Joey said, we have a homeless feed every Thursday. Right now it's down at the Share House, Thursday, 5:30 p.m. And the big thing for me is not only would consider myself a constitutional conservative, but I'm also a God-fearing man. And I've always been grown up and taught that we serve and we give charity. We don't force and take things from other people to give to other people, but we give out of the freeness and goodness of our hearts, and that's how I grew up on. So the homeless community and the problem inside the homeless community is close to my heart. It reads in the scriptures, when we were in the service of our fellow man, we were only in the service of our God. And you can take that all across the board, up and down, left and sideways. It's fact. And you get a good sense of self in the same situation. Right now, we only have our little setup on Thursdays at the Share House, but that's only a small part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to spread out our message in the community, and that's to build consistency and trust. You're not going to be able to help anybody.
If there's any censoring of free speech, it's to keep my channel alive and not get it deleted again.
Possibly donations for tables and tents. Everybody that's been doing this is taken out of their own pocket. And the difference between our feed and everybody else's is this is like a potluck style feed where we bring fresh food to them that's cooked and prepared that they can enjoy, that's different than anything else that they got going on for them. Little sack lunches and stuff that they got, that's great. But this also brings the atmosphere of comfort, barbecue, and kind of the backyard cooking style. So you can get...
My channel was deleted in the matter of 30 days. 3 strikes, you're out in 30 days due to comments, due to people talking.
That window probably won't come back around, and if it does, they're going to remember.
In or around my footage, stuff like that. Like I've gotten strikes for people's comments, I've gotten strikes for all sorts of stuff they put out. Lots of rules and so on, so yes.
To the government to take care of a situation that I truly believe is the church and the community's issue. We need to step up, we need to show up, and we need to get into these communities because there are a lot of them.
Rockfin, when you guys join me over there, you guys can say anything you want. There's no censorship there whatsoever.
I've dealt with homelessness myself, and it can be stepped up, it can be overcome. But we have to continue
So join me on Rockfin, you guys can say whatever you want.
follow the example of Jesus Christ, plain and simple.
No moderation at all.
So we worked, he walked, he dealt with the widows, he dealt with the orphans, he dealt with the afflicted, he dealt with the sick, he dealt with the homeless. And that's what we need to do. If we're going to fix this homeless problem, we need to take it out of the hands of the government, and we need to get in as a community and take care of it ourselves. So if you would like to make any type
Welcome,
of
Rebel
donation,
Dave. Hope you watch the 1619 project.
Please come see me, and I'll be more than grateful to talk to you about it because we have big plans. This is just the start. But we've been in communication with facilities, addiction programs, and other things that we're trying to open up more than just we can't help you after 5 and we can't help you on the weekends, because a lot of times that's when those that are addicted are reaching out for help. And I promise you, their addiction wants to hear the word no. So we have to find a way to be able to tell them yes. So thank you very much.
Just this one. All right, so I know this is what everybody here came for, the raffle time. I'm going to enlist the help of my wife, because obviously she picks well. So come on up. So they're giving away 3 each of us. The first one's going to be an 80% lower. So. Vaughn Barber. Where are you, Vaughn? Oh, there he is. $5 McDonald's gift certificate, Vaughn. All right, we got another 80% lower.
Yes, I can talk about all of that. I can even talk about our the issue we've had for the last year and a half freely on Rock.
Lloyd M. Congratulations, brother. And well, here's the big one, the rifle. God, the Barber family's doing good. Chuck Barber. Nice. Oh, he can come get it from me. Hostage.
All right, this is the rifle. Got looks like Paul M.E. Paul. The last 4 of your phone number 8611. All right, next one's for the 80%. Alyssa Brock.
Well, Alyssa's not here, but I'm here.
80%. I said Alyssa Brock too. All right, Corey. Corey, last 4 of your phone number 9644.
No, I didn't win anything. I can't afford to enter this draw. Are you kidding me? Guys, I don't know if you understand. I am broke as a joke. I'm doing this stuff for free. I had one donation today that's going to pay my car insurance, and I appreciate that more than he knows. Oh, it's all right. I'm surviving, sort of.
Well, that concludes everything. Always a shorter one.
Thank you, Mama Bear, to you. Thank you very, very much. Like, for real, like anybody and everybody who's donated, like, it means a lot. Like, I am demonetized everywhere, deplatformed mostwhere. It's going to be a little while before Rockfin starts paying out, so anybody and everybody who's donating,
Anyways,
I appreciate
hey everybody,
you.
just one last thing.
Great
Thanks so
deal.
much for coming out, just showing some support to the local community. Limitless is amazing once again. If you're Washougal residents, we'd love to have your vote. Make sure you vote for Joe King, because I know most of you are here from Southwest Washington. So thanks again, have a good night, God bless.
Good deal. Good event. It's a good event. I won't let him get away.
This is the friend? Okay. I saw you guys. I mean, he knows me. Dan's like my brother. Yeah, he's crazy. I just passed me out the sun now. My heart all of a sudden makes me so happy.
Yes, I still take stuff on Venmo.
There's donuts on a Sunday night. I feel like I'm a bad kid.
Of course, there's gonna play music. They suck.
We're gonna take off. Yeah, maybe I'll see you down.
I'm gonna ask him if he can go a little further away from the music so I can get a nice clear answer and stuff. That way YouTube doesn't make, well, I'm not monetized anyway, so I guess I don't have to mute it. Yeah, hopefully you guys couldn't hear what she was saying, because that stuff is bad stuff. Just so you guys know, like, if you come to these things, like, they feed you. They feed you pretty good. There's a lot of stuff here. Lots of donuts. Check it out. Yeah.
Huh?
Nope. Nope. Yeah, I had a couple people that had a couple questions for you, if you wouldn't mind.
Let's do it.
One of them has to do with what's your opinion on the Mexicans that are serving the United States military as a vet, and the United States not really coming through on their promise of like citizenship and so on.
Yeah, I think a clear pathway to citizenship, or a clear pathway to citizenship should be serving the country. I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. Yeah, I mean, we're in a weird position in the country where we have now volunteer military, so we don't have enough folks that set it up. So I think getting more opportunity to fight for the nation and earn citizenship that way is
Awesome. And then the second one is, considering all of the mistrust of the three-letter agencies, there's been a couple people who've been worried about your history a little bit when it comes to that. Is there anything you could say to make them feel a little bit better about it?
Yeah, so I mean, really the three-letter agencies, I was at the CIA, I was a paramilitary, I was a CIA, I retired from Special Forces after 20 years, and the pretty nice thing to do is to go into the Special Activities Division and be paramilitary. It's counterterrorism, it was doing stuff that the U.S. taxpayers probably want the CIA actually doing. What I saw there was a highly politicized agency, not the Special Activities Division, not the paramilitary guys, not the warfighters. It's the same thing in the military. The people that are doing the actual foreign missions, just like in the military, are good patriotic Americans, but they've been absolutely, I think their sacrifices and their commitment to their duties have been absolutely wasted by the top level bureaucrats and politicians. So I know that system very, very well. I want to serve in intelligence and oversight, and if I make it, I want to that system. So my desire was to go out and fight terrorists, not the way that the CIA and the FBI and other organizations have deviated from their core mission. It needs to be checked. The problem is, it can't be checked by people that don't understand how those organizations work. The intelligence community is great at behind classification. And you have to understand how classification works, how intelligence is collected, to really hold those leaders accountable. When I was talking about therapy oversight, we have to have people that understand the intelligence community and that can really hold them accountable. Like right now, I'd say Devin Nunes is probably one of the those that really understands how the intelligence community works. But he had to learn on the fly. The Democrats, they have people that serve on their side. We need to have Republicans and American first Republicans that will go in there and actually help hold them accountable. There's a reason why they went after General Flynn first, because General Flynn understood how the intelligence community worked. So he had to be taken out first.
that's why they went after him. So I want to use the knowledge that I gained there to help fix that broken system. I have the utmost respect for the Constitution and the utmost esteem for our institutions, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for that. Yeah, anytime.
Absolutely.
Do you live towards Amboy, don't you? I do, yeah.
All right, guys, if you could not hear him very well, I did record that with my camera as well, which will have much better audio quality. I'll be posting that. It was a great answer for both of those questions, I believe. Space Frog, I hope that it was a good enough answer for you. I'm sorry I could not see if you guys were wanting me to ask him follow-up questions because I was not looking at the phone. I was looking at him when he was talking to me, so... his answer to your question was definitely America first, and like he likes that as a path to citizenship in the United States. He believes that the United States should honor their promises to them. So, like, we have a hard enough time getting people to sign up right now as it is. It's one of the things he said. So, making joining our military and armed services a pathway to citizenship should be an option, and it should be followed through. His answer was that the United States should be following through with it, and it should be a complete pathway to citizenship. And yes, eye contact is it is everything to see the truth of lies. And there was a lot of sincerity there in his question about the 3-letter agencies. So, I mean, for me, it definitely made me feel better about it. There was a lot of people. That's been one of the main things I've heard from a lot of people was his CIA history, and his answer was good. His answer was a really good answer. So, like I said, I recorded that with my camera, so that'll be coming out. I'll post that on YouTube, so y'all can see that better. And then make sure y'all follow me on Rockfin because that's where all the controversial stuff is going to go. I think today was okay, as long as you guys could not hear the lady talking about the chemtrails and crap. God. And if so, I'm going to go back and mute it or cut it out or something, because that stuff will get me deleted. Yeah. So, I think that pretty much wraps it up. I think I might go home. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you very, very much to everybody who donated today. It really means a lot. Like, you guys are paying my car payment, my insurance payment. Hopefully you can pay my car payment. It's been getting tight. My savings are gone. My credit cards are almost maxed. So, credit cards, what am I saying? I have one. And it has a piss poor limit. It's my gas. It's my gas card. Gas credit card. So anyway, yes, special thank you to everybody who's donated today. It really means a lot. You have no idea. I will be hopefully dropping my issue that we can't talk about on YouTube on Rockfin tomorrow. And so that way you guys will see that. It's going to be good. It's going to be really informative. It's going to be awesome. I'll do a teaser. I'll throw a teaser on Facebook too, whatever I can. I don't think I can put too much on Facebook, but I'll try. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go home. You bet, Space Frog. It's been a while, man. I'm glad to see you. Glad to see that you're not one of the few that YouTube's purged. What am I saying? You're a lefty. You ain't going nowhere. I do write off gas and expenses. I do actually have a business license for my the media company. So yeah, it's all a write-off. My mileage is a write-off. I have driven a ton, a ton this year already. I have an app that tracks all of my drives for working and stuff and traveling. So yeah, I owe the IRS $1,000. I got my notice yesterday. I'm gonna be like, yo, payment plan? Maybe? That'd be cool. Awesome. I'm glad to see you guys coming over to Rockfin. It's a great app. It has an awesome app. At least on iPhone, I know it does. I don't have a Droid, so I don't know. I know somebody had a little issue with the chat function the other day during the live stream, but it seemed to work perfectly fine. I'm pretty sure they had a Droid, so that's why. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I think I'm going to go home, and y'all have a wonderful, wonderful night. See you guys.